In the peaceful land of Lawrence County, South Carolina, my Angel Walker grew up with a simple dream to become a nurse, help others, and build a bright future. At 18, she believed that her love for Malachi Presley, a 19-year-old with sweet promises, was a part of that journey to adulthood. But behind the smiles and hand-holding, their on-again, off-again relationship sowed seeds of jealousy, control, and growing insecurity. And then, on the night of December 11, 2024, everything collapsed when my angel's body was found in a fiercely burning car in Greenwood County. What turned a youthful romance into a brutal crime? And why did the person my angel loved most become the one to end her dreams forever? In the late autumn days of 2024, in Lawrence County, South Carolina, the air carried the characteristic chill of the American South. In a small, cozy home, my Angel Walker, 18 years old, was preparing for a new chapter in her life, enrolling in nursing school. With bright eyes and a radiant smile, this young woman was not just a recent high school graduate, but the embodiment of hope and kindness in this tight-knit community. My Angel's dream of becoming a nurse was not a fleeting whim of youth. From a young age, she had shown a natural and sincere desire to help others. "I want to make a positive change in the community, Mom," my angel once shared with her mother during their evenings spent planning for the future. Those words were not just lofty dreams, but the driving force behind her diligent studies and careful preparation for her career path. Shad Woodruff, the single mother who raised my angel with boundless love and sacrifice, was always proud of her daughter. In their modest home, family love was expressed in the smallest details, from carefully prepared meals, to Shad staying up late to help with homework, to deep conversations about life and the future. My angel was raised not only with love, but also with strong moral values, shaping her into a compassionate person, always ready to help those around her, without needing a reason. At high school, my angel became a symbol of unity and leadership through her role on the Lady Raiders team. She was not only a talented athlete, but also the soul of the team. Her teammates and coaches saw her as family, cherishing the warmth and sense of responsibility she brought. My angel had a special ability to bring people together when someone struggled. She was the first to offer support when the team faced defeat. She lifted everyone's spirits, and when there was success, she shared the joy with all. My angel has a special gift. Her coach once remarked, "She always makes those around her feel better just by being there." That's not something everyone can do. However, like many 18-year-olds, my angel was also navigating the world of love and learning to build relationships. She was dating Malachi Presley, a 19-year-old, but their relationship was far from the smooth romance my angel had hoped for. They frequently broke up and reconciled, creating an emotional cycle filled with turmoil and stress. Shad Woodruff, with the wisdom of a mother, witnessed the ups and downs of her daughter's relationship. She repeatedly wished my angel would end things with Malachi for good, sensing troubling signs from the young man. The arguments, the breakups followed by reconciliations, all fueled Shad's concerns for her daughter's future. But at 18, with an innocent heart and fierce belief in love, my angel likely thought love could overcome any obstacle. She believed Malachi would change, that the good moments would outweigh the bad, and that their love was strong enough to conquer all challenges. It was the sweet but dangerous naivety of youth when love blinds us to warning signs. In the final months of 2024, the atmosphere in the Walker family's small home grew increasingly tense. Shad Woodruff often saw her daughter sitting by the window, staring outside with a pensive look, her phone buzzing constantly with messages from Malachi Presley. The relationship between my angel and Malachi had become a toxic, emotional whirlwind, but the 18-year-old seemed unable to break free. Malachi Presley was not the kind of young man any mother would want her daughter to date. He had a charming appearance and knew how to speak sweet words when needed, but beneath that facade was a controlling and emotionally unstable person. My angel's close friends had repeatedly witnessed Malachi's sudden mood swings, sweet and attentive one moment, jealous and aggressive the next. My angel's teammates on the Lady Raiders began noticing changes in her. She was no longer the radiant, positive person she once was. When Malachi appeared at school or practices, my angel became tense and anxious. She constantly checked her phone, seemingly afraid of doing something wrong. Coach Davis also noticed this shift, but didn't know how to intervene effectively. The on-again, Off-again relationship between my angel and Malachi became a topic of discussion in the small Lawrence County community. They could be passionately in love in the morning, arguing fiercely by the afternoon, and reconciling by evening. Breakups often came with dramatic scenes. Malachi might show up unexpectedly at my angel's workplace, send dozens of apologetic messages, or even threaten self-harm if she didn't return to him. This toxic cycle followed a familiar but dangerous pattern. Malachi would cause harm through hurtful words, controlling who my angel could see, or irrational jealousy when my angel threatened to leave. He would shift to dramatic apologies, promising to change, buying flowers and gifts, and showing exaggerated affection. My angel, with her kind heart and belief in the good in others, always gave him a second, third, or fourth chance. Shad Woodruff tried to talk to her daughter about the relationship. Each time she suggested ending things with Malachi, my angel defended him. She believed he loved her, that he was just going through a tough time, that things would get better. These conversations often ended in tense silence, with my angel growing closer to Malachi. The warning signs became clearer in the final weeks of 2024. Malachi began controlling many aspects of my angel's life. He disliked her spending time with family or friends, always finding ways to sabotage her plans with others. When my angel was at work, Malachi frequently called or showed up unannounced to check on her. He started questioning every message, every call, and every person she interacted with. My angel's coworkers also noticed changes in her. She became anxious and startled easily when her phone buzzed. When Malachi came to her workplace, the atmosphere grew tense. He displayed clear possessiveness, always placing a hand on her shoulder, as if marking his territory, his eyes scanning those around with suspicion. There were times when coworkers noticed small bruises on my angel's arm. When asked, she always had a plausible explanation: falling while jogging, bumping into a table, or other minor accidents. But the frequency of these bruises raised suspicions. Malachi's jealousy didn't stop at controlling my angel's social interactions. He began interfering with her career aspirations. When my angel excitedly shared her plans for nursing school, Malachi frequently questioned her about meeting male doctors, working night shifts, or how she might change with a higher education. These questions were disguised as concern, but were subtle attempts to make her doubt her decisions. My angel's family and friends grew increasingly worried but felt powerless. Each time someone tried to intervene, my angel grew closer to Malachi, as if those around her were enemies trying to ruin her love. This is a common phenomenon in abusive relationships. The victim is gradually isolated from their support system, leaving them entirely dependent on the abuser. The changes in my angel's personality became more pronounced. The once radiant and positive girl grew timid and quiet. Practices with the Lady Raiders no longer brought her joy. She constantly checked her phone, worried about Malachi's reactions to where she was or what she was doing. Her natural confidence and leadership were fading. My angel's extended family also began noticing troubling changes. During family gatherings, she was no longer the smiling, active participant in conversations. She often sat alone, eyes glued to her phone, or found excuses to leave early to meet Malachi. This heightened her family's concerns. In early December 2024, the tension in my angel and Malachi's relationship reached a breaking point. Their arguments became more frequent, reconciliation shorter, and Malachi's control grew more severe. My angel began showing signs of living in fear. She was overly vigilant, startled by sudden noises, and constantly anxious. Shad Woodruff, the ever-loving mother, sensed the approaching danger. She tried to persuade my angel to leave Malachi, even suggesting they move away to start anew. But my angel, caught in the complex cycle of abuse and distorted love, couldn't see the true danger of her situation. The small Lawrence County community began noticing the troubling signs. Neighbors occasionally overheard arguments from my angel's phone calls with Malachi. They saw the young woman growing thinner and more tired, her radiant smile gone. But in a small community, people often hesitate to interfere in personal matters, especially the romantic issues of young people. Those who later reflected would realize all the signs were there: the escalating control, pathological jealousy, isolation from family and friends, and hints of physical violence. But at the time, no one could imagine that this toxic relationship would lead to an irreparable tragedy. Like a ticking time bomb, everything was building toward an explosive point no one could stop. and December 11th, 2024 would forever change the lives of everyone who loved my Angel Walker. December 11th, 2024 began like any other day for my Angel Walker. She woke up in her familiar small room, preparing for a regular workday. No one could have imagined it would be the last day of this promising 18-year-old's life. The ordinary moments of that morning and afternoon would become the final memories her family and friends had of my Angel. Throughout the day, my Angel likely thought about her future plans, nursing school, her dream of helping others, and the positive changes she wanted to bring to her community. She might have planned her weekend, thought about Christmas gifts, or simply savored rare moments of peace in her complicated relationship with Malachi Presley. But as night fell, everything changed irreversibly. Between 10 and 11 p.m., on Gary Street in Clinton, South Carolina, a tragedy unfolded. This was a road my Angel had likely traveled many times before, an ordinary street in a quiet small town. But that night, it became the scene of a horrific crime. Police later determined that it was here Malachi Presley shot and killed my Angel Walker. What led to this fateful moment may remain a mystery. Perhaps an argument escalated beyond control. Perhaps my Angel's sudden decision to end the toxic relationship. Or perhaps the final eruption of the jealousy and need for control that had tormented Malachi for months. In a single moment, a gunshot erased all the dreams, plans, and hopes my Angel had nurtured over her 18 years. The girl who wanted to become a nurse, to save lives, could no longer be saved. The kind heart that made those around her feel loved and valued stopped beating forever. After committing this horrific crime, Malachi Presley showed no signs of panic or remorse. Instead, he immediately shifted to covering his tracks, revealing the calculated and cold nature of his actions. Malachi knew that, to escape consequences, he needed to erase all evidence of his crime. He contacted Taylor Kennard, a 19-year-old friend. Taylor's agreement to help Malachi dispose of the body suggests the level of influence or manipulation he held over those around him. Or perhaps Taylor was threatened or deceived about the true nature of what she was asked to do. Together, Malachi and Taylor carried out a gruesome plan. They placed my Angel's body in a car and drove to a remote area on Mackenzie Road in Greenwood County. The choice of location showed calculation. They wanted a place with little traffic, where they could dispose of the body undetected. In this secluded area, they poured an accelerant, likely gasoline, over the car and the body inside. Using fire to dispose of the evidence was not only meant to destroy physical proof, but also to eliminate DNA traces and other evidence that could identify the victim or perpetrator. As the flames erupted in the dark night, Malachi and Taylor likely believed they had succeeded in hiding their crime. They thought the fire would consume everything, turning my Angel Walker into an anonymous missing person, with no one able to uncover the truth. This was a grave miscalculation by inexperienced criminals. The fire blazed in the night, illuminating the dark sky with a terrifying red glow, but instead of concealing the crime as they hoped, the flames became a beacon, drawing attention. The light and smoke from the fire caught the notice of local residents, who alerted the fire department. While the fire consumed the car, it also lit the path to justice for my Angel. What Malachi and Taylor thought would be the perfect end to their crime was merely the beginning of an investigation that would swiftly bring them to justice. The night of December 11, 2024 ended in an irreparable tragedy. My Angel Walker, the 18-year-old with dreams of becoming a nurse and a heart full of love, became a victim of domestic violence. This crime not only took a young life, but left immeasurable pain for her family, friends, and the entire Lawrence County community. What followed would be a race against time to uncover the truth and bring the perpetrators to justice. On the morning of December 12th, 2024, the first alarm was raised when my Angel Walker didn't show up for work. This was completely out of character for a reliable young woman. Her coworkers immediately grew concerned when she didn't answer calls or texts. Shad Woodruff, the mother who always knew her daughter's schedule, instantly recognized the gravity of the situation. She knew my Angel would never disappear without a word. The Walker family reported her missing to the Lawrence County Sheriff's Office. The search began immediately, with close coordination between the Lawrence, Newberry, and Greenwood County Police Departments. They checked hospitals, interviewed family, friends, and coworkers, and reviewed security footage. Every lead was pursued meticulously. During the investigation, Malachi Presley's name repeatedly surfaced in interviews. Family and friends all mentioned the unstable relationship between my angel and Malachi, placing him at the top of the suspect list. Early on December 13th, a resident discovered the burned car on Mackenzie Road in Greenwood County. The body inside confirmed the worst fears. This was a serious homicide. Investigators quickly linked the burned car to my angel's disappearance. Though the fire destroyed much of the evidence, they determined it was an intentional act using an accelerant. Police reviewed phone records, analyzing my angel's final calls and messages. Through phone data and witness statements, they confirmed the shooting occurred on Gary Street on the night of December 11th. Taylor Kennard's role was also clarified. She had helped Malachi dispose of the body and burn the car. Within 48 hours, police identified the two main suspects and gathered enough evidence for arrests. Just one day after my Angel Walker's body was found in the burned car on Mackenzie Road, the wheels of justice began turning at a remarkable pace. On December 13, 2024, after completing evidence collection and establishing a solid legal foundation, police arrested Malachi Presley and Taylor Kennard. The arrests were swift and efficient, reflecting the thorough preparation of law enforcement. Malachi Presley, 19, faced the most serious charges possible in the justice system. He was charged with murder, a crime carrying a potential life sentence or even the death penalty, depending on the court and jury's decision. Additionally, he was charged with possessing a weapon during a violent crime, an additional charge that increased the case's severity and could lead to further penalties. The charges against Malachi were built on a robust foundation of evidence gathered during the investigation. Phone data placed him at the crime scene. Witnesses confirmed the abusive nature of his relationship with my angel, and forensic evidence from the scene painted a clear picture of his crime. Taylor Kennard, also 19, faced charges as an accessory after the fact. While she did not directly participate in my angel's murder, her role in helping Malachi dispose of the body and conceal the crime made her an accomplice under the law. This charge underscored that even assisting in covering up a crime is a serious offense, with corresponding penalties. Taylor's agreement to help Malachi in this gruesome act raised questions about her motives and level of understanding. Did she know about the plan to kill my angel beforehand, or was she only asked to assist after the crime, regardless of her motives? Her actions made her part of the crime and subject to legal accountability. On December 14, 2024, both Malachi Presley and Taylor Kennard appeared at a bail hearing in the local court. This was one of the most closely watched hearings in Lawrence County's history. The courtroom was packed with the victim's family, local media, and concerned community members. The judge overseeing the hearing carefully considered all factors related to determining bail. He evaluated the severity of the charges, the risk of the defendants fleeing, and the potential threat they posed to the community if released while awaiting trial. The evidence against both defendants was presented clearly and convincingly. In particular, the judge noted the calculated nature of the crime. Malachi not only killed my angel, but devised a detailed plan to dispose of her body and destroy evidence, indicating this was not an impulsive act, but a carefully planned crime. This heightened the danger he posed if released. After thorough consideration, the judge denied bail for both defendants. This decision was based on several factors: the extreme severity of the crime, the strong evidence against them, the high risk of flight, and the potential threat to community safety. The denial of bail meant Malachi Presley and Taylor Kennard would remain in custody awaiting trial. This decision was met with relief by my angel's family and the community. They felt reassured knowing those believed to have committed this horrific crime could not cause further harm. While awaiting the formal trial, Sheriff Michael Addison of the Clinton Police Department publicly expressed satisfaction with the speed and efficiency of the investigation. He emphasized that resolving the case quickly not only brought justice for my angel, but also helped the community feel safer. He also extended deep condolences to my angel's family and friends, acknowledging that, while justice may be served, nothing could compensate for the immense loss they were enduring. With both defendants detained awaiting trial, the next phase would be preparing for the formal trial. This would be the time when all evidence is fully presented, witnesses are called, and the jury will decide the fate of those accused of taking my Angel Walker's life.